All right, guys, we're back for our third installment of our Toe to Toe. I'm Rick.
I'm Jared.
And before we get started, as always, we want to thank everybody for viewing over this past couple weeks. Our opinions are not those of any company that we're associated with. We're just two guys that like sports, and we like to talk a little bit about sports. And tonight, we're going to talk about some sports. As always, we're going to open this up with the pro football. Jared.
All right. Well, pro football today, I just want to go ahead and run through some scores. Also from Thursday, the Buffalo Bills lost to the New York Jets 34-21. The Titans beat the Ravens 23-20. The Eagles 51, Broncos 23. Rams 51, Giants 17. Saints 30, Bucks 10, Jags 23, Bengals 7. Colts 20, Texans 14, Panthers 20, Falcons 17. The Cowboys 28, Chiefs 17. Hey, Ridgeway.
Ridgeway, how about them Cowboys?
What happened to those Chiefs today? Redskins 17 and the Seahawks 14. That was on a last-minute grab by Josh Dotson. Went to the 1 yard line, and then Fat Rob went ahead and punched it in for a touchdown. Bad news for the NFC East and Rick, but good news for the rest of the NFL because the Seahawks aren't what they used to be.
No. And with that being said, I'm going to bring up the scary team in the NFC, in my opinion, is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Philadelphia, yeah, but I'm going to go ahead and throw this one at you. And this was for my pick of the week, which just to let you guys know, I am now 8-0 on my picks of the week. So my pick of the week this week was the LA Rams over the New York Giants. And man, Rick, they put a butt whipping on them too.
Well, I'll tell you too, and what else I've seen about this whole deal was Jared Goff, who last year wasn't doing much with Jeff Fisher as his head coach. They bring in 31-year-old Sean McVay.
Yeah.
This kid's turned it around. Gurley's healthy.
Yeah.
He's got some good receivers.
Hey, Tavon Austin went off today.
And their defense is doing what they need to do to keep their guys in the game. They're keeping the other team off the field as much as they can. Let's get rid of them. Let's get our offense out here.
Yeah.
And that's obvious today when they're throwing up that many points. Jared Goff, 4 touchdowns today, I think, might have been.
Hey, and strike me if I'm wrong here. Well, actually don't. But tell me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Jared Goff and Carson Wentz both rookies last season?
Yes. And Carson Wentz, who I wanted at Dallas.
Right.
And then they trade up, Philly trades up, they get him. They're still on the board. There was Paxton Lynch, there was Connor Cook. But you'll hear me say this again. I called that Dak Prescott pick for the Cowboys at 4th round. Dak was actually going to Denver and missed the plane because he was stuck in Orlando traffic.
Wow.
Or he would probably been at Denver. With that being said, Denver, who kicked my Cowboys' butt really good beginning of the year, didn't look like Denver today.
Oh, not at all. Well, they went back to Brock Osweiler, and I'm not sure why, especially whenever John Elway went out on the limb and went big time on Paxton Lynch. And where is the guy? Is he buried like in the bottom of the depth chart? I mean, what's up with that guy?
I think he's hurt, actually. And I might get to that here in a minute. I got something else I got to bring up. This will be late. We are going to try to go live the last 5 or 10 minutes of the show for our Facebook viewers. We do have a Facebook page now, too. It's called Rick and Jared's Toe to Toe, or it's called @Triple-T. Make sure you look for it. We'll try to add you guys as much as we can.
Nice.
Make sure you check us on YouTube tonight. It'll be episode 3 of Toe to Toe. Please give us some feedback. Ask us some legit sports questions, and we will do our best to try to answer them. We're eventually going to try to go to, you can call in and talk to us and ask us a question.
And make sure you like it. If you're liking what we're doing, make sure you like it.
Tell
By
your
the
friends.
way, I wanted to go ahead and show everybody the Bears are off this week. So I went with my pick of the week, which was the West Virginia Mountaineers. And once again, I come true. We upset the Iowa State Hawkeyes.
Or Cyclones.
Cyclones.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Iowa's the Hawkeyes.
Yeah. Hey, which was also another one of my picks. I didn't actually get to it on here, but I did pick Iowa. because, they pulled the same upset that they did last year over Michigan. They pulled that same upset at home again over Ohio State, those worthless nuts, this past week.
And we're going to get to that here in just a minute. We're going to go to the Sunday night game tonight. The Sunday night game is the Oakland Raiders and the Miami Dolphins. I like Miami, and here's why.
Oh, hey.
Here's why I like Miami. Because a smoking Jay Cutler is going to come out tonight and throw 2-3 touchdowns.
All right, you know what? Okay, we're going to go toe-to-toe here because, for one thing, the Raiders now, after the Kansas City loss today, they actually, are back in the running. They have a chance,
Yeah.
okay? So I'm going to go toe-to-toe with you here, and I'm going to actually pick the Oakland Raiders tonight. For one thing, I believe that Miami has all but given up on this season. Okay, I don't think that Jay Cutler. I mean, he sure couldn't save a kite in the windy city of Chicago on a winless day. So I'm going to go against you, and I'm going to go ahead and say that I think the Oakland Raiders are going to go ahead and close the gap a little bit with Kansas City while they have a chance.
Now, I know my Raiders fans ain't going to like that, but I still like Miami. However, with Miami losing Jay Ajayi in a trade recently, their running game is going to be hurt. So I think they're going to have to put the ball in Cutler's hands. I did pick this guy initially on my fantasy draft. He got hurt a couple weeks ago. He's still playing tonight. So we know how Jay doesn't like to play when he's hurt.
All right.
And he's making a nice little fat payday for a one-year deal. So, and tomorrow night is a matchup that Jared's going to be very interested in, and that's Green Bay versus Detroit.
I'll tell you what. I actually I don't want to give a pick, and just to clear it up, my pick tonight is not to take the Raiders. I do like the Raiders to win this game, but I don't want to mess things up. I'm already 1-0 on the day, so I'm going to leave that as my pick. I'm also not going to pick tomorrow night's game as far as to go on the spread. I do believe that Detroit will be a clear-cut winner in that game. I don't see how Hundley, as horrible of showing he's had in the last 2 weeks, I don't see Hundley being that savior that Aaron Rodgers was.
And they're going to have to put the ball in Aaron Jones' hands, who we know can run.
Right.
I'm taking Detroit's defense on my fantasy league tomorrow night. I like that gunslinger Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
I like Matt Stafford. I know you would like for a tie, but I'm going to compare a tie to kissing your sister. It's just not good.
Right,
and I don't
right.
have a sister, so I just want to throw that out there. A tie is still better than a loss, but Jared, of all people, would love for both of these teams to lose because that still helps his Bears.
Right. And I'll tell you, the Bears are coming off of a bye week next week. And so I'm going to go ahead and throw it out on the limb. We are in a pick'em game with those Green Bay Packers. So my pick of the week, it's my Chicago Bears. I think that we even the score with Green Bay this week, and we beat those Packers. So a loss tomorrow night to Detroit would greatly enhance our season as far as, at least topping our most hated rivals in the NFC North.
And any good Bears fan is not a Packers fan.
Right.
We know this. We're going to move on to college. We're going to talk about our Mountaineers first. Our Mountaineers beat Iowa State yesterday in Morgantown. We finally got to see the lights go on at Milan Puskar Stadium, which I'm glad.
Well, yeah, but now I want to clarify that because some people did make notice of that last week. We said that was going to be a night game. They actually moved it to a 3:30 game.
Right.
Rick.
And then next week they play Kansas State at Kansas State,
And I'll tell you,
and that's a 3:30 game.
And I'm scared to pick the Mountaineers, especially, I'm not a Holgorsen fan. I maybe I shouldn't say this on here, but I'm not a Holgorsen fan. But I'm going to go ahead and go out on the limb, and I'm not positive, but I believe that we have only beat Kansas State one time, Rick, and I should have looked this up to make sure.
I think you're right on that.
But I believe that we've only beat them once, and I'm going to go out on the limb, and that's going to be my pick of the week in college, is I'm going to go ahead and go and pick the Mountaineers one more time.
And they're fighting for their lives now to get a good bowl.
Right.
Which is going
to stay in a race for the Big 12 championship.
Absolutely. So we've got to have every win. And with that being said, I'm gonna move on to the next item.
Well, hold on. Wait a minute, Rick. Let me. I'm going to go through the top 10 scores. I'm not doing the top 25, just to restrain on time. But Alabama #1 didn't look like Alabama #1 against LSU.
No, but Jalen Hurts throws a ball like a jugs machine.
Right.
That guy has got a cannon of an arm.
He does have a cannon. He does have a cannon.
So,
but Alabama didn't look like. But then again, LSU's. That's a big rival game there. For LSU, and I think LSU's coming on a little stronger as of late. They're playing a little bit better ball. But anyways, to go on through, Alabama didn't look like the #2 team in the country. Whenever they only beat them 24-10. Georgia, #1 team, new #1 team in the country.
Bulldogs.
But they didn't really look like the #1 team either. They only beat South Carolina 24-10. Notre Dame, now I hate them, but luckily they didn't cover the spread. Just to let everybody on the Vegas line know that. Notre Dame won 48-37. Clemson 38-31 over North Carolina State. Oklahoma. Well, that was a pick of mine last week. I said
it was 62-52.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a shootout. It was a shootout.
Jimmy Johnson and Barry Switzer would have never, ever, ever had a score that high.
Right.
There might have been a 62-0 or a 52-0, but it was never. Even when they played it, that's over 100 points for two schools.
Yeah. And I mean, and great football. It was great football. I mean, and I picked Oklahoma to go into Oklahoma State. And beat Oklahoma State. So, and they did. They were underdogs in that game for some reason. They went in and they beat Oklahoma State. That was #5 Oklahoma. Number 6 Wisconsin. They might be the team to beat in the Big Ten because, like I said last week, everyone was going to go and bet on Penn State to beat the spread against Michigan State. Guess what? It didn't happen. Michigan State actually won that game outright.
No.
Pretty much knock both Ohio State, the Worthless Nuts, and Penn State out of the national championship drawing because neither one of them ended up playing good football yesterday. Clemson, they might be one of the teams to beat. Oklahoma, one of the teams to beat. But then you got Wisconsin. They're the #6 team in the country. They're still looking great. I think they're undefeated. They're 45-17 over Indiana. Miami's another team.
That's for my U fans.
Yeah, Miami's another team that you got to throw them into the national championship talk now because they beat Virginia Tech 28-10. Virginia Tech was the favorite in that game in Miami, and Miami schooled them. Hey, good for me because I hate Tech. TCU, #8 TCU beat Texas 24-7. #9 Washington, they beat up on the Oregon Ducks 38-3. Then you got #10 Auburn 42 over Texas A&M 27. So we got a lot of teams here that we need to start maybe talking about in the next few weeks about being in that Final Four.
Yep. And that's going to bring me to the next subject here. There are 4 undefeated schools right now in D1. Georgia, #1 team. Alabama, top 10 team. The U, another top 10 team. And here's one of our old rivals from the Big East days. South Florida is now undefeated.
Nope.
Is it not?
No. Last week, I looked in, and they actually took a loss last week. Knocked them out of the.
So I stand corrected on that.
Knocked them out of the top 25 completely. I thought it was the same.
But they won't get any kind of recognition because they're South Florida.
Right.
20 years ago, they didn't even have a program.
But you are right. There's another one, Wisconsin. Wisconsin is undefeated. So, you know what? Actually, I might need to do a little bit better homework, as do you, as we just saw. Because Wisconsin may have actually taken a loss earlier in the season.
We'll check that.
But for some reason, I'm thinking, though, that Wisconsin is one of those undefeated, and they just get overlooked because of Penn State and Ohio State.
Michigan State, the Big Ten, all the Big Ten schools, which is going to bring me to something you brought up here about Washington. Washington has a guy, his name is Dante Pettis. He returned a record yesterday, 9th touchdown off a punt return.
Wow.
Now, here's the unique thing, which will lead us into another subject here in a minute. His dad is the third base coach for the Houston Astros.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was one thing. Something else that I caught yesterday, and I don't know if you did, if they did, the Wyoming-Colorado State was our first big snow bowl of the year. They were showing the players. You couldn't even see these guys. and they slowed it down. And it looked like that part of Star Wars when they make the jump to light speed, how the flakes are going past the guy when he's running.
Oh yeah.
And
Did by any chance were they as stupid as I think it was the Philly game whenever they were throwing the snowballs and got in all that trouble? I mean,
that's when Jimmy Johnson got the snowball hit in the head, and they was throwing beer bottles.
Just bad attitudes as fans. I mean, that's
anybody
that's
that boos Santa Claus,
right?
To me, you don't boo Santa Claus, by the way.
Right.
And by the way, Merry Christmas too.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, Reedy.
Yeah. We know you're looking forward to Black Friday because if you guys don't know, this is off the subject real fast. Our friend Reedy is Clark Griswold of Lewisburg, and he's got a new home. We're not going to say where, but when you're out riding around, you'll know it's his place. Trust me. All right, now I'm going to move down to our Heisman watch. There's love from Stanford. Baker Mayfield yesterday threw for 598 yards.
Wow. That's like 6 football fields.
Yeah, unless you do my math. Barkley from Penn State only ran for 63 yards yesterday.
Oh, I guess we can see one reason why they lost.
So he's probably going to be out, but I'm going to throw a couple other guys' names in here. Falk, the running back from Washington. Washington
Is that
State.
Marshall Falk or Kevin
No,
Falk?
he's one of the players for Washington State. His last name's Falk.
But he's not related to either one of the other 2 Falk boys.
And I'm going to throw this out there too. Tate, the quarterback from Arizona, with our old guy, Rich Rodriguez. Rich Rod always seems to find a quarterback to run that spread offense. And I watched a little bit of that game last night, and Tate really put on a good show. They did lose the game.
But they were finally in the top 25 again. They were number 22.
Yeah, they were on a skid. They lost to USC last night. Tate looked really good, but I'm still Greer again. Saturday looked good.
Yeah, hey,
finally, and he had one bad game.
But one bad game, and I told what I said after the last time Greer had a bad game, he come back in the next game. What he do? He blew it up, and that's what he did again.
Yeah.
But West Virginia, they got away from being one-dimensional.
Yeah, they ran the ball.
If they would have tried to rely on Will Greer and become one-dimensional, they were going to lose, just like any football team out there. You cannot be one-dimensional. You have to be able to play all sides of the ball.
And you got to run the ball effectively. And with that spread offense, as I call it, you got the RPO, the run pass option. You got to run the ball. You've got to have a guy that can run the ball.
What about the White brothers at WVU?
Yes.
I mean, my God, they just thank you, Pat White. Thanks to you, we got 2 other great White brothers. Because you went there and then they followed in your footsteps. Thank you.
All right. Moving on to our next subject. Jared's covered all the college. I'm gonna bring up NASCAR. Today, Kevin Harvick wins. There's several of them in there that's punched their ticket. My guy Kyle Busch has punched his ticket to go on to the playoff round next week. Jared, I'm gonna lean on him on this one because I don't follow golf a lot, and he can tell you I don't follow golf. Tiger Woods comes back, has announced he's coming back in a tournament here soon. What are your thoughts on Tiger Woods coming back? Is he going to be the Tiger of old, or are we going to get the washed-up Tiger with the bad knees, the bad back? I've still yet to figure out how these guys can get bad knees and bad backs. I know they swing clubs, and I know they do all this stuff, but they're not getting hit. They're not running. I'm not a golf fan, by the way, folks. So,
well, I'll tell you what. Golf is actually very, very wearing on your body. It uses muscles that you don't use in your normal day in life. So, these things, the bad back and stuff like that, they do play an integral role whenever, like with Tiger Woods, okay? No, I don't think Tiger Woods, I think he's past and done. Go on and wait for your turn in the senior tour. Maybe you can start winning again. Vegas has all these lines out there on what, is Tiger going to win a major? Is he going to place in a major? Blah, blah, blah. Someone asked me, where would you put your money? I said, well, does Vegas have a line that Tiger Woods won't make it through the whole season? Because that's the one I'd put my money on.
All right. We're going to switch to baseball real fast since the World Series ended this week. Jared did call the game to go to Game 6. It ended up to Game 7. Yeah. But the Astros won their first World Series. They've only been to the World Series twice. He was telling me earlier before we went on using our video here that there was a couple records broke with the drought. The Kansas City Royals has been one. Is that right?
Yeah, the Royals won it back in 1985.
Yeah.
Then again, they won it 3 years ago.
And then the other one, the big drought, the 107 with the poor old Chicago Cubs. They finally won and give all these people. And I remember growing up watching it on locally. There was two different teams on. It was either the Braves or the Cubs. That's all you had to watch.
I'll tell you what. After watching them this year, it looks like they may go on another 107-year drought. You Cubs, you did not show up. You really did not show up. You know, you won the World Series last year, and it was a lucky win. And it's like, hey, you're happy now. You're done. Good for another 107 years.
Right.
But no, it's bad. All right. But then the Houston Astros, they'd never won a World Series, never even had a World Series win. Got their first of both this year. So hey, keep breaking those droughts. Maybe the Indians will be up.
Yeah,
next
let's
year.
hope for the Indians, for the sake of the Indians fan that'll be watching this. For your sake, give them something to cheer for besides the Cavaliers, because the Lord knows the Browns aren't going to win anything.
Right, yeah.
And I
Hey,
think
that's
they
a
lost
streak that
again.
won't be broken.
Yeah. A friend of mine once said that's why they're the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
You
should be the Cleveland Brown bagheads.
Yeah.
But all right. Hey, I do want to say this about the NFL. Do you possibly think? I mean, I was watching the games today, and also this whole season. All right. For one, the amount of injuries, we already talked on that last week. But the amount of fighting going on. Do you think that possibly has anything to do with the players, not being punished for the whole national anthem thing? Now they're actually even, going
It's
far.
almost hockey now.
Yeah.
And AJ Green today, who's a quiet guy, he's a good player on the field, he's probably a leader with the team. He gets ejected, but him and the defensive back have been getting chippy. And finally, Green just runs up behind him and grabs him and just throws him to the ground. Looks like, a pro wrestling match.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it just starts hammering down on him.
And there was a fight with the Saints and the Bucks today.
In the 49ers game, there was a
The
big
49ers
fight.
Cardinals game was a big fight. I, honest to God, believe that the punishment where they overpaid these guys, they're making millions of dollars to entertain people like us,
Right.
people like you all. Owners, coaches have got to step in.
And regain control of their franchises, their teams. I mean, come on, guys. Look, if you can't play by the rules, if you can't do what you're supposed to do and entertain us the right way, we need the coaches to go ahead and step in. Then we need the commissioner to go ahead and step in.
Yeah, he likes to step in.
Yeah, but, do it the right way and take care of the business the way you should take care of it.
Yep. All right. Yeah. All right. We're going to do local sports, and then we're going to cut the video off. Then we're going to go live for the last 5 or 10 minutes. So give you guys a chance to comment about sports-related stuff, and we'll go from here. Greenbrier East the other night finished their season 2-8. They lost to Spring Valley, who's now in the state championship playoffs. Spring Valley is a very good team. They had some D1 prospects last year on the line, as I've mentioned last week. Greenbrier West won their last game against the Valley Greyhounds, which will be shut down in a couple years. Greenbrier West finishes 2-8. I don't know when the last time both schools had losing records. That was the same losing record, 2-8, 2-8.
You know what they should do is they maybe should play each other this year since they're both 2-8.
I would love to see that happen. I know we would all like to see that happen. James Monroe will host Winfield this Friday at James Monroe at 7:30. They're in the playoffs. That's another local team I'll always try to give a little shout out to on here because I got some contacts from James Monroe as usual.
And my pick still for the state championship has to run through Martinsburg.
Yeah.
So,
Martinsburg's always in there at the end.
but I'll tell you, there's another one, and actually
Somebody's coming in.
they haven't been good lately. Hold on one second.
Quick pause here.
You guys, go ahead, come here.
That's why I don't want to be open.
Yes, you have to.
No,
You already said it.
no, I
All right, we have some cheerleaders now for the sports talk show, Toe to Toe.
Yeah.
Um,
Are you paying us?
we forgot to lock the
There
door.
y'all.
Go ahead, come on in.
Oh, what are they?
So, come on.
We're
come
doing
on.
a spot.
You guys are now
You're wrong, right in front
local
of the camera.
cheerleaders.
I'm sorry.
Local cheerleaders for the sports talk show Toe to Toe. Go ahead, come on in, say your names. Some of the viewers said we needed some beautiful women to show up on our talk show, and hey, there they come.
They all showed up.
There she just goes.
That's 'cause we didn't lock the door as
and
usual.
then they went ahead and got embarrassed. But,
And this is a sports show?
this is a
Yes.
sports talk show. It's 3 weeks in the making.
They're on YouTube.
And is it live right now?
It's
No,
not
we're
live.
gonna-
We're
we're
going
gonna go
live
live
here in
in a
just a
little
few
bit.
minutes.
Oh,
but
well, I have some
we will
stuff
be on.
to tell you about sports.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I really do.
All right, go ahead. Fire away.
My son is Sam Snyder, the kicker for East.
Okay.
Is this like local or?
We were-
It's
we were
local
covering- we were
pros
covering
and-
local just
Yeah,
now.
we were just now covering
Yeah.
locals.
Yeah.
Fire
We're
away.
ready. Yeah, we're ready.
And he's amazing.
Yep.
And he was 4 years varsity soccer.
Yep.
And he just scored 9 points as a kicker
Hey, there you go.
last Friday, and he won their first game. There
That-
was
that-
7
is that
seconds
Preston
left.
County? Yep.
Yes, 7 seconds left, and kicked a 35. And they said it could have been 55.
Oh yeah, he had plenty of distance on. I was
Because
listening
it
to him
took
on
him a
radio.
minute to.
Right.
So hey, look, there you go. From
And
a,
he's
from a
going to
local
college.
Greenbrier
I
East
think-
kicker, mom.
I think he's headed to WVU next year.
Good for him.
Hey,
Congratulations.
And we can use it. We can use it.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Good luck with
Hey.
your stuff.
Thank you all.
ladies. Thank you, ladies.
You never know what's going to happen on toe to toe.
Hey, you see, there we go. Hey, you guys wanted some women to show up on the show. There they
Well,
go.
we got women.
So hopefully we'll have more yet to come.
We're going to finish up here with a couple more local sports, and we're going to go live on Facebook. East Volleyball lost in the regionals over this past week. Greenbrier West girls won and advanced into the regionals. They play Friday morning at 8:30. Have a little interest in that because I've helped coach that team 1 year, and then I had the girls when they was in the middle school. I was their assistant coach with Robin and Butch McQueen at Western Greenbrier. So it's good luck to Greenbrier West. Girls volleyball and East Soccer played in the States this week. They lost 2-1. If you was not a part of this, you missed something very, very huge. They had a parade with a police escort from East all the way up to the interstate. People was lining 219. I really wish that was every sports team locally that we could get that support for every game. That would be so nice. But I understand there's reasons why you can't. And with that being said, we're going to shut down here unless Jared's got anything to say. We're going to shut this down, but we're going to flip back over and go Facebook Live here in just a minute.
All right, well, Rick, we got to do our good vibes.
Well,
So-
I was going to do that when we
Okay.
go live.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah, we'll
hey.
do the good vibes and a shout out with that. So you guys again, thank you for tuning in. Please tell your friends, like our video on YouTube.
Hey, and share it so that
Please.
their friends, everybody. I mean, we get this thing going, and it's getting better every week. It's getting better, and every week it will get better because we're not going to go down without making this the best talk show there is.
So thank you guys, and we'll see you back on Facebook Live here in just a minute. Thanks.
Thank you.